July 5, 2017, Bangkok, Thailand. A specialized police unit smashes a Honda Civic through the front gate of a private apartment complex. This isn't a stealth operation. They have exactly one mission, and it has nothing to do with the man inside. They need to reach his computer before the encryption process begins. A full disk encryption is a mathematical death switch. Timing is crucial. Every second matters. Inside the apartment, a laptop screen blinks. The system is loading. A complete disk check is already in progress. If the man hits 2 keys, his hard drive encrypts instantly. The evidence to a billion-dollar empire turns into digital static. No one, not the FBI, not the NSA, can crack it. But on this sweltering morning in Bangkok, the police unit is faster. They tackle him away from the desk. The laptop remains open. The sessions stay logged in, and the FBI just gained live access to the largest illegal marketplace in human history. This is the story of AlphaBay.
Today, the Department of Justice announces the takedown of the dark web market AlphaBay. This is the largest dark market web place takedown in world history.
It hosted over 40,000 vendors and served more than 200,000 users. At its peak, AlphaBay wasn't just a site on the dark web, it was an ecosystem, with vendors who built reputations over years and users who trusted escrow systems more than real-world banks. There was no chaos, just business, an illegal, global, and a ruthlessly efficient empire. It was designed to be unhackable, untraceable, protected by the most advanced encryption known to mankind. But today, we're going to show you why none of that mattered. We're going to decompile the digital forensic trail that proved the single most terrifying truth about the dark web's existence. You can hide your IP, you can hide your server, but you can never hide yourself. To understand the fall, we have to understand the height. In 2014, after the fall of the original Silk Road, a power vacuum opened on the dark web. Buyers needed a new marketplace. Into that void stepped a user named Alpha02. He wasn't just a drug dealer, he was a systems architect. He built a simple-looking store and then turned it into a fortress. AlphaBay was slick. It had customer service, dispute resolution centers, star ratings, and more importantly, it integrated Monero, a privacy coin designed to obscure transaction trails entirely. Alpha02 was arrogant because he thought he was good. He posted frequently on Reddit and specialized forums, bragging about his operational security, how he was flawless. He claimed he lived in a jurisdiction where the West couldn't touch him, and for nearly 3 years he was right. The FBI and Europol were helpless. They could buy drugs on the site to prove it was illegal and working, but they couldn't find the servers. Every time they tried to trace the traffic, they hit the Tor wall. The encryption was mathematically sound. If Alpha02 had simply stayed a ghost, he might still be running the dark web today. But like every human before him, Alpha02 got sloppy. The break in the case didn't come from a supercomputer cracking a password. It came from a simple email header. Investigations usually start with a zero-day exploit. This one started with a zero-day mistake from 2014. When AlphaBay launched in late 2014, a lazy configuration error in the server script meant that every new user who signed up received a welcome email with a striking flaw. The email headers consistently leaked the admin's personal address, pimpalex91@hotmail.com. You might think it was a one-time mistake, but no. It was a systemic error that persisted throughout AlphaBay's early days. Pimp Alex, born 1991. It didn't take a genius to connect the dots. Investigators found a LinkedIn profile for one Alexandre Cazes, a Canadian expat living in Thailand. In his mid-20s, He had no listed job, yet owned luxury cars, lavish properties, and lived like a tech millionaire. But still, an email isn't enough for an arrest warrant. They needed to prove Cazes was indeed Alpha-02, so they watched him, tracked his online times. When Alpha-02 was posting on the forums, Cazes was awake in Bangkok. When Alpha-02 went silent, Cazes was asleep or at the gym. This is how modern cyber investigations work. Not hacks, but correlations. Sleep cycles, gym schedules, posting rhythms, and others connected to an identity. They found his money, traced to his crypto. Small slip-ups in tumbling. His money revealed transfers from AlphaBay wallets directly to Cazes' bank accounts in Thailand, and more in Europe. He had built a digital fortress, but he left the back door open with a Hotmail account he made when he was just a teenager. Here is where the story goes from a standard bust into a psychological operation. The FBI was ready to raid Cazes in Thailand, but the Dutch National Police saw something much bigger. They were already tracking a rival marketplace called Hansa. They realized that if the FBI shut down AlphaBay, all 200,000 refugees wouldn't just vanish. They will just migrate. So they made a proposal. Don't just kill the king, become the king. It was a perfect time to completely take over. On June 20th, Dutch police secretly seized the Hansa servers in Lithuania. They arrested the admins. It was done quietly, but they didn't shut the site down. Instead, they left it on and running. For 27 days, law enforcement secretly ran one of the largest dark web markets on Earth. They rewrote the site's code. They modified the encryption feature to log every activity, capture every message, every credential and metadata. Then, on July 5th, the FBI raided Cazes in Bangkok. AlphaBay went dark. Panic began to grow. Thousands of terrified users flooded to Hansa Market, thinking it was the only safe harbor left. They filled forms, registered accounts, deposited Bitcoin, and sent their home addresses to vendors. They were handing in their very own data directly to Europol. Addresses, payment trails, PGP keys, private messages. Years of anonymity collapsed in weeks. Arrests followed. Quietly, globally, it was relentless. Most users never realized when they were compromised. They only realized when the police banged through the door. Alexandre Cazes never stood trial. A week after his arrest, he was found dead in a Thai prison cell. He left behind more than $20 million in seized assets and a legacy of hubris. We often think of hacking as a guy in a hoodie typing fast against a firewall. But the reality of modern cyber warfare is much quiet, yet much more terrifying. It wasn't the encryption that failed. The math worked. It wasn't the Tor network that failed. The routing worked. What failed was a human being. One Hotmail address, a LinkedIn profile, and password that got reused. It was the human need to be recognized. AlphaBay didn't fall because it was weak. It fell because its creator needed to exist and not just operate. In the digital age, you are only as secure as your worst mistake. And on the internet, you make mistakes every day. You just haven't been caught yet. Do not think you are flawless. If you want to see how the FBI is currently tracking the next generation of dark web markets, click this video right here.